What's up? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. So today I'm going to be taking a little bit of break from history, and I'm going to be doing some music reviews. Somebody had requested this in one of my comment sections, and so I figured I'd share with you all just some of my favorite bands. Some of these have been my favorite bands for years. Some of these are like new music that I've checked out, that I've has really caught my attention in the past couple years or whatever. And I have a big list of bands right here, so I'm gonna try and just knock out as much as I can, and see what we can get done. This may actually go by quickly. I don't really know, so I guess we'll just start to dive right in. To start with, I'll start with what I would say is to be my favorite band. And if any of you guys know me, you probably could guess this. But it is the Mean Jeans from well, I guess they live in Portland, Oregon now. I remember them from when they lived in Virginia. I guess my band in high school had played the last show of Christian or Billie Jean's last band. But either way, like they've been such an inspiration to me, and just like carrying on like the name of just like true punk rock, what it should sound like, and catchy 3-chord songs. And yeah, all their albums are great. I've been following them since the very beginning. And they're influenced by some of my favorite bands you'll see in the list. I'll tell you guys now in this list, I'm not gonna do bands like the Ramones and Motorhead, or Nirvana, all the bands that you all already know. There's really no point in getting into that. Hopefully I can show you guys some new music that you can get into. And I guess the brainchild between Rice, I don't know who does all the songwriting, but he has some other projects as well that are good. I guess with his wife they have, I guess their new band is called Touchy or something. They used to be called Patsy's Rats, where it would be the two of them, and they would play with, I guess, rhythm section of different areas wherever they were touring. And then he has a new album out, or I guess it hasn't come out yet, but it's going to be on Dig Records, I believe. It's a solo album. I've heard one song from it, and it's really amazing. It's kind of like Mean Jeans stuff, except like blasted into the future. Cool shit. Anyways, moving along. Next, I'll say, if you guys may have been surprised, in past times you might have thought I would have said Dillinger 4, who still, will always be one of my favorite bands. But I guess I do have a tendency to like, bands that I do like really like, I'll listen to repeatedly, and I wouldn't say wear it out, but it just like I'll then start to focus on something else. And I think also, like, I don't know, the Dillinger 4, their songs, they're very feel-good songs, and it's reminiscent of easier times in my life. I think like the Mean Jeans, they still have that kind of partying positive vibe. There's that sort of twisted, like, demented brain sort of feel in it that also is appealing. Anyways, moving on. Next we have the Spits, from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and another one of my favorite bands for a long time. Takes like the best elements of punk rock and just turns it into something ugly and beautiful at the same time. Add kind of the space robotic element to it, but it's hard hitting, just raw punk for the people, I believe is what they call it. Great band, definitely. If you haven't heard them, check them out. Next, we have Annihilation Time, who's been another one of my favorite bands since I was in like high school. They just mix like hard hitting punk with like heavy kind of Black Sabbath, Thin Lizzy style riffs, and just very like the quintessential music for like rebellious rock and roll, with an attitude, just all their shit is amazing. And so they're mostly from California. I believe their singer, who initially they had another singer, but the singer who's been with them for most of the time is from Indiana, I believe, originally. I think I had a friend who I lived with in Philadelphia that said that she had grown up with him. So that's speculation. I mean, I think that's true. If anyone knows any different, you can tell in the comments. But he also plays in a band called Eel nowadays, which is also pretty awesome. They're definitely different directions. That is just very raw, abrasive, kind of hardcore punk, but still very good. Moving on to another one of my favorite artists for since I was 17 or 18, is Jay Retard. Somebody who I've seen live, I think, more than most people that I've seen, besides Guar. I think I've seen Jay Retard live more than anybody else that I've ever seen. Always been very inspirational to me. He's written so much good music over the years. Like at first I had heard the Retards, of course, who are the classic. Not like, just, you can't say anything bad about the Retards, even though if some of you who follow his Budget Rock page on Facebook may have seen that their drummer had watched my first video and I think wasn't a fan of it, and he had said that I wouldn't last a day in the Retards. But I wouldn't let a silly thing like that get in the way of them being one of my favorite bands of all times. Definitely just like raw, righteous, teenage, fucking badass rock and roll. And then he went on to be in some other great bands. There's like the Angry Angles. He had Tokyo Electron. What was there was the other ones. There was this. He had this like electronic type project called Terror Visions or something, I think. Yeah, he's done lots of like solo and different projects over the years. Amazing musician, amazing person. Rest in peace, his soul. I remember like when hearing about his death, and just some of the songs that just touched me so much. I felt like I really felt like I understood. Like he conveys himself very well through his music. It's very powerful music. Check out anything by Jay Retard, the Retards. Any of his bands, all very good. Next, of course, classic, Poison Idea, one of the best hardcore punk bands of all time, the Kings of Punk. All like Pig Champion, their guitar player, also rest in peace, amazing fucking artist. They're just some of the best punk music of all times. And also there are other projects to go along with them who, Fetish, who is, I guess, a lot of members of another band that I'm going to bring up later, with the drummer, also rest in peace, Slayer Hippie, who's the drummer of Poison Idea. All of their shit, all awesome. And they have another band, also tied to other people in this, called Dead End America, that I think they made one album with the singer of I Hate God, which I'll get to later. Next is the Barracudas, from Atlanta. Just a band I'd heard a couple years ago, I believe, but all very catchy songs, good rock and roll. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you just have to listen to that, I guess. Good time music, I would say. But then, yeah, next is Long Knife, who's one of my favorite hardcore punk bands of the modern era. And like I said, most of the members in this band also play in Fetish along with Slayer Hippie. Well, not anymore, but also, yeah, Long Knife, great band. All solid fucking hardcore punk. kind of in the vein of Poison Idea. Moving along, more hardcore punk. We have Green Beret, who also very hard hitting, just very like I don't know, very very tough sounding, but not in like a douchey way or anything. Just very good, well written music, good lyrics, solid. They are from Boston. Next we have Carbonas, who are from Atlanta. I guess they were formed in Atlanta. I had a friend who told me that they were from Brooklyn, but I guess I don't know where they're from, but exactly. But great band. Just kind of it is kind of like classic punk rock, but fast. It has Animal-esque rock and roll twang to it. Great band. All their stuff is very good. Check them out. This next band is one of my favorite hardcore bands of modern era, Loose Nukes, from Houston. I think they've been playing, they're dudes who have been playing hardcore for a long time. They've been bands in Houston since the 90s. But they put out a couple albums in the past 4 or 5 years, I believe, and they all are very awesome. Especially their new one that just came out in February, Mexploitation, is awesome. Check that out. Next, I have another Texas band, the Marked Men, who great catchy songs, well written. Dude has other bands too. That, you can check out Radioactivity, and I think his name is Jeff Burke. There's Mind Spiders, all just very good music. He's a solid songwriter. They're from Denton, Texas. The next band, you all should know, and if you shouldn't, then, or if you don't know them, then that's probably, it means there's something wrong with you. It is the Mummies. Definitely, the quintessential band that showed what brought the essence of the garage rock revival, stripped down to its most basics. They're just these wild fucking dudes that dressed up as mummies, had cheap equipment. They used like analog reverb. It's hard to explain. Just look up the Mummies, and not to be confused with, there's some other band called something like I don't know, something with the Mummies, but the Mummies from the 90s. One of the best bands ever, and definitely have influenced so many bands across the board. So let's see. After that, let's see. We have Hank Wood and the Hammerheads, of course, from New York City. It's hard to explain. There's not many. They don't sound like anyone. But great band. Most of you probably have heard of them. Next, the Riverdales, of course. Like Ben Weasel, Danny Vapid, who also one of the big inspirations for the Mean Genes, but just classic, 3-chord punk rock at its best. Next, Personal and the Pizzas, who are from New Jersey, also 3-chord punk at its best. Trying to move along a little bit quickly. We still have a lot more to go. Teen Generate, from Tokyo in Japan, of course. Also huge band from the garage rock revival. Great band. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't heard them. We have the Pink Lincolns. Been around since I think the 90s. I don't know if they really play anymore. From Tampa, Florida. They did a split with Screeching Weasel at some point, but their album In the Pink Room, I believe, is my favorite. Next, another garage rock revival band, Guitar Wolf. Fucking awesome. I saw them live once. I was tripping on acid, and the singer punched me in the face, and I tried to stick my finger in his nose. But it looks like we're running out of time, so the rest we're probably going to have to do next time. But I hope that's a good start, so I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.